Hey, everybody. So it's coming up on my year anniversary of YouTubing next month. But I've actually been watching YouTube for years. And there's been YouTubers that I've always tuned into. For instance, I've watched Lovely T for several years. I don't really watch her anymore. I can't sit here and pretend that I watch her as much, but she was always, to me, just a really good YouTuber. I can't lie. And Tasha K, of course. I watched Tasha K. I watched her since like the beginning of 2017. And I've also watched these guys here, Justin J and Adrian Xpression. Now, they both have their own platforms. Justin J has about a little over 100,000 subscribers on his platform. And Adrian Xpression, he's not that far behind. He has about 70,000, a little over 70,000 subbies, okay? So what I also liked about these guys is that they worked together and they had really good chemistry together. Now, if you don't know, they had I think, a very successful podcast I used to listen to on SoundCloud called For the Culture Podcast. All right. Every week they would get together and do a little kiki, which I thought was actually funny. Here you have this straight black woman listening in on these two gay black men giving their take on everything from music, pop culture, reality TV. I just thought it was a really good show. But a few months ago, I kind of noticed in the springtime, I tuned in like I would do every week. And all of a sudden, they went from doing their show every week to all of a sudden, when I tuned in, Justin had somebody guest hosting with him. Now, I didn't think anything of it at the time because, sometimes, Adrian may have been out of town. Remember, they have their own platforms. So it's not unlike these guys to have their own things to do. And so I didn't think anything of it. Okay. He had a guy sit in with him, which was fine. He was decent. The chemistry wasn't there, but the guy was actually pretty intelligent. Then the next week come along. I'm like, okay, well, I'm looking forward to listening. Adrian has to be back. I'm sure he's back. Another person's on. And so I tried 3 weeks in a row. And then I realized, okay, something's wrong here. I wonder what's going on with these guys because nobody said anything, not Adrian and not Justin. They did not address it when people were asking, like, what's going on with Adrian? Why is he not on the podcast? It was like they were both being mum. And then I started to notice when I looked on Adrian's IG that, Justin wasn't there anymore. So Adrian posted this. He said, I didn't want to make a big deal about it, but I have fallen back from For the Culture Podcast, just in case you're wondering where my ass was at. Sorry if that's disappointing, but I need to move forward. Thanks. All right. And so I also noticed that he was posting these tweets that seemed a little shady. He said, don't trick yourself. Some people are just idiots. They'll have you convinced that you should dumb yourself down and make them feel comfortable. LOL. They're too empty-headed to get their ambitionless asses up and learn something, so they project on you, but you deserve better. And so I was like, that seems a little shady. Sounds like someone that we know, but maybe not. Then he wrote, get the stupid out of your space and watch yourself flourish. Get that negative energy away from your spirit and your whole perspective on life will change. Some people want you to sit with them in turmoil and insecurity because they're mad that you're a star that will outshine them. So I kept saying to myself, now this was mid-July, and I kept thinking, okay, so he's no longer on the podcast and he's posting things like this, which led me to believe that these two are no longer friends and something's going on. But again, nobody will directly say what it is. I felt like they've both been wanting to say something, but they haven't said anything. And my guess is that they have fallen out. This is like I don't think it'll be like as bad as a Tasha K, Lovely T situation, but they have definitely fallen out and they're no longer friends. Okay. Because I've just been wondering, I've been following these guys for a while. So this has just been like, okay, is somebody going to say anything? Like, is anybody going to address the elephant in the room? Now, here's the thing about Justin J. I have watched him for a while, and even though I do kind of like Justin, I do like his platform, I have noticed over the last several months that he has gotten a little bit more negative And, even with this whole super woke thing that he's on, he seems to just have this vibe to me that he's always so triggered by everything triggers him. Like he never seems to be happy about anybody else's success or anything to me. I don't know. He just kind of has this drag about him. I don't know if anybody follows him. I don't know if you have the same feeling about him, but I just been feeling like, okay, Justin, you just seem like you just always negative. Like for instance, back in June with the BET Awards, when Tyler Perry gave his speech, which I thought, like, I don't know anybody that could hate what Tyler Perry said, but Justin found a way to just be negative about what Tyler Perry said. Tyler Perry is basically like, create your own table instead of trying to sit at other people's table and be accepted. Make your own table. And Justin had an issue about, people like Tyler Perry, who makes a lot of money. He is anti-capitalism, which, I know capitalism has its issues. I get that. But at the same time, it's almost like he's mad at people for making a living. It's like he seems to be upset with people who are very successful and have a lot of money. He's always like, well, all of us can't do this. All of us don't have that kind of money. It's like, okay, so are you telling me if you had $1 million, you would turn it down simply because everybody else doesn't have $1 million? Like he just sometimes is so triggering. Like every little thing triggers him, everything. I remember him saying something like along the lines of, he felt like speaking proper English was anti-Black. And I was just like, okay, Justin, you're doing too much. You're doing way too much. But I still would listen in on him, okay? Because there was times where he did make really good, valid points. And then you have Adrian Xpression, who seems a bit more bubbly when he is away from Justin. Like he has his own platform. I like to listen to like his take on different things like that. He's a young dude, probably no more than like 25 years old, but I like to listen to his take on certain issues and stuff like that. And I remember when he was giving his review, his take on Beyonce's On the Run tour, like I think On the Run 2. And he was really kind of like, giving her giving her the business, but in a very nice way. And then next thing you know, Ivy Park, Beyonce's production company, called him up and invited him to the concert. And I feel like this is when things, in my opinion, begin to change between him and Justin, whereas Justin wasn't really like moving forward. And here you have Adrian, who is now getting invited out, getting flued out to Beyonce concerts. Now, if you are familiar at all with Justin J is what they call on the internet. Now, this is not my take on him. This is what people say. They call him a hobosexual. Like Justin J has just been panhandling on the internet for years. And if you've watched him, you know that Justin J has been evicted several times from these apartments that he has had. He's always panhandling and begging his subscribers for money. I did a video like months ago, I think at the beginning of 2019, telling Justin J to get a job because he was again, he had just moved into another apartment, got another place, and he's on here begging for his subscribers to basically fund him. And I'm just thinking to myself, come on, Justin, you got like over 100,000 subscribers. And, why can't you just go out and get a job until things really take off? And again, he's just one of those like, oh, woe is me. He just seems like he just wallows in oppression. Like he's like oppression porn to me. I know that's not a word, but he just seems like he just wallows in it. And Adrian, to me, just takes a different tone about that. So even on For the Culture podcast, when I would listen to them, even though they had really good chemistry together, Justin always seemed to dominate the conversation. And I felt like Adrian always went along to get along. Like he would just kind of follow the thing. But now that you see them separate, you just see that they have a different energy. Like even with, I've even noticed since Adrian went to see Beyonce on the Run tour, and he was on the Run too, and he was invited, I've noticed that everything Justin J talks about when it comes to Beyonce is always negative. Like he just never seems to have anything positive to say about her. And that's his opinion. He is certainly entitled to it, like we all are. But I've noticed like even his videos about Beyonce since then have seemed like they are always negative. All right. I just watched a video of him earlier today even with Nicki, and I know I don't want to turn this into a Nicki Minaj thing, but even with Nicki, like, no, he never has anything positive to say about certain people. But then when you see Adrian separate from him, you see that Adrian seems like he has branched out and he has his own thoughts and his own opinions about things, and they're just very different. Now, we don't know what happened. I don't know how they fallen out or how they fell out, but I suspect that Justin Jay's friends probably have been getting tired of him for a while. Justin Jay has literally just been begging and probably living house to house to house, and he just doesn't want to try to supplement his income that he gets from YouTube by just getting a job. Like, he is just adamant that he's just not for it, and he's not going to try to do it. He is just not going to do it. And that's fine and good if that's how you want to live, but you can't expect people to, and this was the problem I had with Justin Jay, is like, he expects his subscribers to fund his life for him. I remember just not too long ago, he had a video out where he was like, if you guys want to, contribute to me going to, watch this movie, I think it was The Lion King or something like that, so I can review it for y'all, go to my PayPal, go to my, Patreon, whatever he had. It's just like, huh, really? Now, that is up to the subscriber. If they want to pay for his lifestyle, they are free to do that. It's a free country. They are free to do that. But at the same time, I just feel like Justin is always on this hobo tour when it comes to just trying to, like, it just seems like a hustle. And like I said, for us that have been following Justin for years, we just got tired of it. Because it's like every other week, every other year, he was evicted from a place where he was just not doing more. He would just refuse to do more for himself. And it just got tiring after a while. And so I feel like, me personally, I feel like Adrian has blown up. Adrian is doing all this new stuff. Adrian was recently invited, I think, to his high school in New Orleans to like do this like keynote speech and stuff like that. And he's really just taken off. And I just feel like it's possible, my opinion, it's possible that Justin he feeling a little jelly. I mean, he just feeling a little jelly at what Adrian is doing. Adrian's put out music, I just been noticing the energy for months now. And so when I saw that, like I said, Adrian wasn't on for the Culture podcast anymore, I was surprised. But then I started putting all this together, like, it's probably a good thing that they separated. I hate to see friends separate, but Justin just has this energy that seems like he doesn't want people to be successful around him. He doesn't want, like I said, the way I saw him go off on Tyler Perry for a speech about people that have money, he's constantly like, well, we can't afford that kind of stuff. We can't do this and we can't do. I'm just like, how can you get upset with people for being successful? Like, you could be successful too. You could have more money too if you get out and actually get a job. Justin just comes off the type to me that doesn't understand that you can actually YouTube and work a job until you get to where you want to be. Now, once you get the kind of income that you want, maybe you can drop that job. But until your channel take off or doing the numbers that you wanted to do or pulling in the income you wanted to, you may have to get a job. And Justin never seems to get the concept of that. And he seems to be really jealous of other people that have opportunities or opportunities are coming to them. So it was just my observation that I saw that these two seemed like they were just not like meshing anymore. And now it's just pretty much been confirmed. I mean, I'm looking at the tweets from Adrian and I just feel like he is definitely talking about Justin. But yeah, I guess that relationship is over. I mean, we keep seeing YouTubers fall out. It's not a wonder. We see it all the time. But, some people just not going to be happy for you. Some people just can't handle your success. They will be cool with you, but they don't want you to do better than them. And you see it in life every day. So I just saw that. It was just an observation of mine. I watch these guys. So I don't know. I like them both. I do wish them both well, but I hope that Justin will get himself together. But anyway, before this video ends, I just reached 11,000 subscribers. I think it was yesterday. And I just want to thank you guys for listening in. I don't do a lot of editing. I'm not good at any of that stuff, but I do appreciate you guys following me and stuff like that. Listen, I don't have no Cash App. I don't have no PayPal. I don't ask you guys for anything. That's just not me. No shade to anybody else. That's not my way. But if I could just ask you guys, YouTube is always tripping when it comes to advertisements and AdSense. But if you see an advertisement come up like a commercial or something like that, just let it play. You know, like I said, I don't ask you for anything, but if you do see a commercial come up for me so that I can make a little bit of a coin, because I don't ask you guys for anything, if you see a commercial come up, just let it play, guys, because that definitely helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.